You're stuck in traffic, again. Radio's off, windows up, just you and your thoughts. Your phone buzzes, a text from a coworker. Great job on the presentation, it says, with a smiley face. You stare at the screen, and something feels wrong. The words are kind, but they land heavy, like a stone in your gut. Was that praise real? Or was it something else? Envy, wrapped in a quick text. You've been here before, haven't you? That moment when someone's nice feels sharp. When their smile doesn't quite reach their eyes. When their "I'm happy for you" sounds rehearsed. You replay it in your head, over and over. Was it just you? Or was there something hidden? The world's loud, full of voices, full of masks. And your mind, it's already working overtime, picking apart every word, every glance, every silence. It's exhausting, isn't it? Wondering who's real and who's just playing a part. But what if you could pause? Not spiral, not overthink, just notice. See the truth for what it is. Stoic wisdom, it's not about big answers. It's not about fixing everything or everyone. It's about seeing clearly so you can walk through the noise without losing yourself. If you've ever felt that unease, that quiet doubt about someone's words, leave a small sign below. Not for me to stand out, but so this video can reach someone else, someone who needs a moment to pause, just like you. Let's walk through this slowly. 10 ways to see envy, to spot falsehood, not to judge, not to fight, just to notice. Each one's a small anchor, a way to stay steady in a world that pulls you in every direction. Notice what they do, not what they say. Words are easy, aren't they? They flow like water, smooth, polished. Someone says, "I've got your back," but when you need them, they're gone. A friend texts, "You killed it at work," but they never ask how you did it or why it mattered. Their words sound right, but their actions, they're silent. Stoics like Marcus Aurelius, they knew this. He said, "Waste no time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." Actions aren't just louder than words. They're the truth. Think about your office. That guy who's all smiles in meetings. He claps you on the back, calls you buddy. But when you're up for a promotion, he's whispering to the boss. Not about you, but against you. His words were warm, but his actions cold. Or that friend who says, "Let's hang out soon," but when you call, it's always, "I'm busy." You feel it, don't you? That gap between what they say and what they do. It's not just forgetfulness. It's a sign. Envy hides there, in the space between promises and reality. Falsehood lives in that gap, where words don't match steps. So, watch their hands, not their mouth. See what they do when they think you're not looking. At the coffee shop, do they tip the barista or just smile and walk away? At work, do they share credit or hug it when the boss is around? These moments, they're small, but they speak. Louder than any "I'm here for you" ever could. Don't confront, don't accuse, just notice. Let their actions tell you who they are. Because the truth, it doesn't need words. It shows itself, if you're willing to look. Have you seen this in someone close to you? That moment when their words felt empty? Pause there and ask, what did they do? Watch their eyes when you win. Success feels good, doesn't it? You land a big client or finish a project you poured your soul into. You share the news, expecting joy, connection, but then you see it. That flicker in their eyes, just for a second. A smile that's too tight, a nod that's too quick. Congrats, they say, but it sounds flat, like they're reading a script, not feeling it. Seneca, the Stoic philosopher, he'd tell you this. Focus on what you control, not their reaction. But their reaction, it still reveals them. Envy doesn't shout, it whispers. It's in the way they change the subject or toss out a "yeah, but" to dim your light. Picture this. You're at a bar, catching up with friends. You mention a race, something you worked years for. One guy clinks your glass, grins, says, "That's awesome." But his eyes, they're not smiling. They're scanning the room or staring into his drink. Another friend, he leans in, asks, "How'd you pull that off?" His eyes light up, curious, alive. Which one feels real? Envy can't hide, not completely. It slips out in a glance, a pause, a silence. You felt this, haven't you? That moment when someone's happy for you feels hollow. They might say the right words, but their body, it's telling a different story. Stoics don't waste energy on others' envy, but they notice it, so they can move wisely. You don't need to call it out, just see it, and keep walking your path. Next time you share a win, watch closely. Not just their words, but their eyes. Do they shine, or do they darken? What do you see when you look? 3. See how they treat the invisible. Some people, they glow around power. The boss, the influencer, the big name at the party. They're all charm, all warmth, all attention. But what happens when the spotlight's off? How do they treat the waiter, the janitor, the stranger on the street? Epictetus, he'd say this is where character lives. Not in how you treat the powerful, but the powerless. Because the invisible, they don't offer anything back. No favors, no status, no gain. So how someone acts toward them, it's raw. It's the truth, stripped bare. Think about your workplace. That colleague who's always kissing up. They laugh at the manager's jokes, nod at every word. But when the barista spills a drop of coffee, they snap or roll their eyes or ignore her completely. That's not just rudeness. It's a window into their heart, their insecurities, their envy. Because envy, it's not just about you. It's about anyone who seems less or more. False people, they perform for gain. They're kind when it pays, cruel when it doesn't. But real people, they're steady. They nod to the security guard, same as they nod to the CEO. They don't switch masks because they don't need them. You've seen this, haven't you? Someone who's sweet to the important, but cold to the ones who don't matter. That's not just a quirk, it's a sign of envy, of falsehood, of a soul-chasing status. Stoics don't judge, they observe. So observe quietly. How do they act when there's nothing to win? That's where the truth hides. Try it tomorrow. Watch someone in a crowd. See how they treat the ones no one else notices. What do you see in those moments? Question the weight of their praise. Compliments feel good, don't they? A quick, "You're killing it," or "Man, you're talented." It lands warm, lifts you up for a moment. But sometimes it feels too much. Like the words are heavier than they should be. Marcus Aurelius, he'd warn you here. He said, "It's not what others say about you, but what you think of yourself." Because praise, it's not always pure. Sometimes it's a mask. For envy, for control, for something they want. Think about that coworker, always laying it on thick. You're the best at this, they say, in front of everyone. But later, they don't back you up, or they nitpick your work. Their praise, it's not about you. It's about them, their agenda, their need to seem good. Or worse, to keep you close, while they envy from afar. You felt this, haven't you? When someone's nice, feels like a performance. Their words are sweet, but they leave a strange taste. Stoics don't chase compliments. They question them quietly. Not out of paranoia, but clarity. Ask yourself, does this praise match what I did? Does it feel true? Or is it a tool to pull me in or push me down? Picture this. You're at a networking event. Someone you barely know. They're gushing. You're going places, they say, hand on your shoulder. But their eyes, they're darting, looking for the next important person. That's not praise. That's flattery. And flattery, it's envy's cousin. It hides a want, a need, a falsehood. Don't let it sway you. Don't let it cloud you. Just notice and stay grounded. Next time someone praises you, pause. Feel the weight of their words. Do they lift you or pull you? What's behind them, really? Track their patterns over time. People show you glimpses, don't they? A kind word today, a cold shoulder tomorrow. One moment, they're your biggest fan. The next, they're distant or sharp. It's confusing, isn't it? Your mind spins, trying to pin them down. Stoics, they don't rush to judge. They watch, they wait, they notice patterns. Because one moment, it's just a moment. But a pattern, that's a map to the truth. Think about that friend, always full of energy in a group. They laugh, they cheer you on, they're there. But one-on-one, they're different. Quiet, distracted, or subtly critical. You brush it off, once, twice. But then you see it, again and again. Their warmth, it's for show. Their support, it fades when no one's watching. That's not just moodiness. It's a sign of envy, of falsehood, of a split soul. Stoic wisdom. It's about seeing clearly. Not jumping to conclusions, but collecting dots. Connecting them over days, weeks, months. You've noticed this, haven't you? Someone who's one way in public, another in private. Their words shift, their vibe shifts, depending on the room. It's not random, it's a pattern. And patterns, they don't lie. Picture your workplace, that colleague who's always on. They praise you, but only when the boss is near. Alone, they're critical or silent. You see it once, you doubt yourself. You see it 10 times, you know. Envy hides in those shifts. Falsehood lives in the cracks of inconsistency. So don't react, don't confront, just watch. Track their actions, their words, their silences. Over time, the truth will show itself. Try it this week, pick someone in your life. Notice how they act in different moments. Do they stay the same or do they change? What does the pattern tell you? Look, feel their response. To critique, feedback stings, doesn't it? Even when it's kind, it can hit hard. But how someone takes it, that's a window into their heart, their strength, their truth. Marcus Aurelius, he loved critique. He said, "If someone shows me I'm wrong, I'll change. I seek the truth." A real person, they lean into feedback. Not because it's fun, but because it's useful. They want to grow, to be better, to be true. But envious people, deceitful people, they flinch, they push back, they deflect. Critique. It's a mirror they don't want to face. Think about your team at work. A project goes south. You own your part. Say, "I could have done this better." But someone else, they point fingers. "It wasn't me," they say. Or, "You don't get it." Their voice gets sharp, their face tightens. That's not just pride, it's fear. Fear of being seen, fear of their mask slipping. Envy thrives there, in that defensiveness. Falsehood hides in their refusal to look inward. You've seen this, haven't you? Someone who can't take a single note, who turns feedback into a fight. It's not about a critique, it's about them. Their insecurity, their need to seem perfect. Stoics don't fight feedback. They use it. And they notice who can't handle it. Picture a friend. You point out something small. Maybe you could have handled that differently, you say. A real friend pauses, nods, thinks. A false one, they snap, or shut down, or turn it back on you. That reaction, it's a signal of envy, of a soul hiding from itself. Don't argue, don't push. Just notice. How do they handle being questioned? Next time you give feedback, watch closely. Do they listen or do they armor up? What does that tell you about them? Hear the comparisons they slip into. Words reveal, don't they? Not just what's said, but how it's said. Someone congratulates you. "Nice work." But then they add, "Not as good as Sarah though." It's subtle, quick, almost innocent, but it lands like a pinprick. Seneca, he'd say this: "Focus on your path, not the one they point to." But those comparisons, they're a clue. Envy speaks when someone can't just see you. They have to measure you against someone else. Think about your circle, that friend who's always ranking. You share a win, they say. Cool, but John's doing better. Oh, or they drop a name, a story, a subtle jab. It's not about John or Sarah or anyone. It's about them, their need to dim your light, to make you feel less, so they feel more. You've heard this, haven't you? That little comment, that feels like a cut. It's not random. It's envy, wearing a casual mask. Falsehood, it loves comparisons, because they shift the focus from truth to competition. Picture your X feed. Someone posts a humble win. The comments roll in. Most are kind, but one, it's different. Nice, but I saw someone else do it bigger. That's not feedback. That's a signal of a heart, wrestling with its own shadows. Stoics don't compare, they observe. They see the game and choose not to play. So listen, when someone speaks, do they lift you or weigh you against others? Don't react, don't argue, just notice. Those comparisons, they're not about you. They're a mirror of the one speaking. Try it today. Catch the next comparison. Hear it. Feel it. What does it reveal? Who's behind those words, really? Observe their dance with failure. Failure, it's heavy, isn't it? It sits in your chest, makes you question everything, but it's also a teacher, a chance to see who someone really is. Epictetus, he'd say this: you control your response, not the failure itself, but how others respond. That's their truth. Real people, they own their mistakes. They say, I messed up, and they learn. They don't hide, they don't blame, they grow. But envious people, deceitful people, they dance away from failure, like it's fire. They point at others, at bad luck, at anything but themselves. Think about your workplace. A project tanks. You admit your part, you want to fix it, but someone else, they're spinning a story. It was the client, they say. Or, no one told me. Their voice is loud. Their excuse is louder. That's not just dodging. It's hiding. Envy lives there, in the fear of being seen as less. Falsehood thrives in the stories they tell. You've seen this, haven't you? Someone who can't say, I was wrong. Who builds a wall of words to protect their ego. It's not about the mistake. It's about their soul. Stoics don't fear failure. They use it. And they notice who runs from it. Picture a friend. They miss a deadline. You ask, what happened? A real friend says, I dropped the ball, I'll do better. I, a false one, they blame the system, the team, you. That blame, it's a mask. For envy, for insecurity, for a heart afraid of truth. Don't call it out. Don't fight. Just notice. How do they dance when failure comes? Next time someone stumbles, watch. Do they stand or do they point? What does that show you about them? Listen to how they share their story. Everyone's got a story, don't they? The wins, the losses, the moments that shape them. But how someone tells it, that's a window into their heart, their honesty, their truth. Marcus Aurelius, he'd say this: the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. A real person, they share simply. They say, I worked hard, I failed, I learned. Their story, it's not a performance, it's just them. But envious people, deceitful people, their stories, they're polished, too perfect. They inflate their wins, shrink their losses, or they hide behind silence or vague excuses. Think about your X feed, that guy who's always crushing it. Every post, a new victory, a new highlight. But when you talk, there's no depth, no struggle. It's all shine, no substance. That's not just bragging, it's a sign of envy, of a need to see more. Falsehood, it loves a good story, as long as it's not true. You've heard this, haven't you? Someone who talks big, but it feels empty. Their words, they don't match the person you see. Stoics don't spin tales, they speak plain, and they notice who can't. Picture a coworker, they're sharing a win. They go on about how they saved the day. But you were there, and the story, it's stretched. That's not just ego, It's a mask. For envy, for insecurity, for a soul-chasing applause. Don't argue, don't correct, just notice. How do they tell their story? To you, to others? Is it real or is it a show? Try it this week. Listen to someone's story. Feel the weight of their words. Do they ring true or do they echo? What does that tell you about them? T. Trust the quiet voice inside you. Sometimes you just know, don't you? You're with someone, they're smiling, talking, connecting. But something, it's off. A tightness in your chest, a hum in your gut. You can't name it, but it's there. That's your inner voice, your instinct, your truth. Stoics. They balance reason and feeling. They think clearly, but they listen to that quiet hum. Because sometimes it sees what your eyes miss. Think about that colleague, always on. They're friendly, helpful, everyone loves them. But you feel uneasy. Every time they're near, you try to shake it, tell yourself, they're fine. But the feeling, it stays. That's not just nerves, it's a signal of envy, of falsehood, of something hidden. You've felt this, haven't you? That moment when someone's perfect, but your gut disagrees. It's not about proof, it's about listening to the part of you that knows before you do. Picture a party. Someone's charming the room. They pull you in, joke, laugh, make you feel seen. But as you walk away, you feel drained. Like their warmth took something from you. That's your inner voice, whispering, notice. Envy, it can hide behind charm. Falsehood, it can wear a perfect mask. But your instinct, it cuts through. Stoics don't ignore that voice. They honor it quietly and move with care. Don't doubt yourself. Don't overthink. Just listen. Next time you feel that hum, pause. Ask, why am I uneasy? What's this person really showing me? Trust that voice. It's wiser than you know. You don't need to fix anything today. You don't need to confront or cut ties or solve it all. Just notice. Let the noise of the world pass by. Let their words, their glances, their masks fade. And keep walking your path, your truth. Stoic wisdom. It's not about winning or proving. It's about seeing clearly so you can live simply, deeply, freely. If this helped you pause, even for a moment, try one of these ways tomorrow. Then come back and tell me in the comments, I did it. I'm here, listening.